Well, yes, you can. I don't really know if I ain't say the one good eye or the bad eye, just right there.
It's like that ref was cheating yesterday.
I know. So, what does it mean to have a conflicting point of view? What's conflict? Huh? Problems, issues? When you are having a conflict, are you guys on the same page? No, usually not. So a conflicting point of view would mean what? Say it again. Yeah, you see something one way, somebody else sees it another way. We're gonna look at the structure of a paragraph to see how does it develop a key concept. So, we're gonna listen to section 4. As we're listening, you're gonna take notes. Now, for the books, because I do have hard copies of this book, so when you guys need to look up something. Tyler, 16. Leon's not here. Jaden, come get number 18. Anthony, 19. Duval, 20. Anijah, 21. Sonny, 22. Amadi, 23.
His computer magnet.
Herman, 26. Jamar, 28.
I live the field to be 4'6". She 4'6".
Give me it. Drop it. Drop it.
God,
She got my thingy majiggy.
this our book or what?
No. Just give me
Hold on.
childish. Shut up.
Right there. Like 8.
Right, this is really young.
She's 8. She's 4'6" and 8 years old. In 8th grade. Bro, you're gay. Yeah. You wanna come play basketball with me?
Right, yeah.
You wanna play
Okay,
basketball with me?
We're gonna listen to,
Mm.
this is chapter 4. Look in the index.
I got some Jordan please.
Everybody got something to take notes in?
No.
Let's get it.
I get the paper.
Get on my face.
I mean,
Get on my face.
Did we read
come
4?
on, Armezzy.
I ain't got nothing for you.
Come on, Armezzy.
Okay, well, let's refresh our.
Come on, please. Got some paper, cuz.
Main elevator. Food on the
And I don't ready. Please rest for all my
Should be
favorite.
talking.
I'm trying to get.
Don't do it, Jamar. I'm so glad y'all not.
Chapter 4, the grain elevator.
You said what?
Food on the ground. Page 52.
Boy.
One wet spring afternoon, I visited the grain elevator in Farmville, Iowa. That's where George Naylor hauls his corn each October. The sky was a soft gray and it was drizzling lightly. My car rumbled across the railroad tracks. Grain elevators are tall, hollow concrete tubes like
Get that
silos.
up.
They're the tallest buildings by far in this part of Iowa. You can see them for miles. But what stood out on this gray day was a bright yellow pyramid the size of a circus tent pitched near the base of the elevator. It was an immense pile of corn, left out in the rain. The year before, farmers in the Midwest had had a bumper corn crop. It was too much for the elevators to handle, so some was just dumped on the ground. Even now, 7 months later, there was still a huge pile. As I walked around it, I saw golden kernels everywhere, ground into the mud by tires and boots. Most of this grain is headed for factory farms and processing plants, so no one worries much about keeping it clean. Even so, it was hard not to feel that something was deeply wrong at the sight of so much food left out in the rain. The next afternoon, I met a Mexican-American crop scientist named Ricardo Salvador, a professor at Iowa State University. He told me he'd had a similar reaction the first time he'd seen kernels littering Iowa's roads in October. Farmers haul their corn to town in big open wagons that scatter a light rain of corn behind them. Salvador said the sight of so much corn on the ground made him feel sick. In Mexico, for thousands of years, corn was honored as a source of life. Even today, he said, you do not let corn lie on the ground. To do so would be considered almost sinful. Salvador's reaction, like mine, came about because we were looking at corn the old-fashioned way, as a food. But the businesses that run the grain elevators in the industrial food chain do not look at corn as food. They look at it as a commodity, something to be bought and sold. The corn at the grain elevator was not the same kind of corn you or I eat when we have corn on the cob. What George Naylor grows and what was in the pile by the elevator is a type called number 2 field corn. These kernels are hard to eat, but if you soak them in water for several hours, you'll find they taste like lightly corn-flavored starch. It is not a food for human beings. It is the raw material out of which the industrial food chain makes beef or chicken or high fructose corn syrup or maltodextrin. Corn, the commodity, page 54. Before the railroads crossed America, corn was brought and sold in burlap sacks. More often than not, the sacks bore the name of the farm where the corn had been grown. You could follow a sack from a farm in Iowa to the mill in Manhattan, where it was ground into meal, or to the dairy in Brooklyn, where it was fed to a cow. This made a big difference. Consumers knew who was growing their food. They knew exactly what it was and where it came from. With the coming of the railroads and the grain elevator, the sacks suddenly became a problem. It is a lot easier to break the corn down into kernels and pump it like a liquid into the grain elevators and into the railroad cars. The sacks and the names of the farms had to go. Corn from hundreds of different farms was now mixed all together in a great golden river. The river of corn would flow from the farms to buyers anywhere in the world. Since the buyer couldn't know whose corn they were purchasing, the Chicago Board of Trade made up a category called number 2 field corn. Any batch of number 2 corn was guaranteed to be as good as field corn. The river of corn, page 55. At the height of the harvest, the grain elevator in Farmville runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When George Naylor delivers his truckload of corn, it is weighed and graded, and his account is credited with the day's price per bushel. At that point, it is no longer George Naylor's corn. It becomes part of the vast river of corn flowing out of the Midwest towards your supermarket. I watched a pile of corn pour into a railroad hopper car painted with Cargill's blue and yellow logo. That car was joined to a train more than a mile long, holding 440,000 bushels of corn. Yet that number is a tiny fraction of all the corn produced in the United States. America's farmers produce 13 billion bushels of corn a year. That's up from 4 billion bushels in 1970. The supply of corn is usually far greater than the demand for corn, so new uses must be found for it all the time. People have to consume it in new ways, in new kinds of processed food. Animals that never ate corn before must be taught to eat it. We have to turn it into ethanol fuel for our cars. We have to get other nations to import it. My plan when I came to Iowa was to somehow follow George Naylor's corn on its path to our plates and into our bodies. I should have known that tracing a single bushel of industrial corn is as impossible as tracing a bucket of water after it's been poured into a river. Making matters still more difficult, the Golden River of corn is controlled by a tiny number of corporations. It has been estimated that Cargill and ADM together buy somewhere near a third of all the corn grown in America. These two companies guide corn's path every step of the way. They sell the pesticides and fertilizers to the farmers. They operate most of America's grain elevators. They ship most of the corn exported to other countries. They mill the corn into its different parts to be used in processed food. They feed the corn to livestock and then slaughter the corn-fattened animals. Oh yes, don't forget, they also help write many of the rules that govern this whole game. Yet, in spite of their size and power, Cargill and ADM are almost invisible. Neither company sells products directly to consumers, so they don't advertise. They work in secret and seldom cooperate with journalists. Both companies refuse to let me follow the corn river as it passed through their elevators, pipes, freighters, feedlots, mills, and laboratories. 90,000 kernels, page 57. Let's imagine a bushel of number 2 field corn. One bushel holds about 90,000 kernels. Those kernels could come from dozens of different farms. Some might be George Naylor's Pioneer Hybrid 34H31. Some might be his neighbor's genetically modified variety called 33P67. Some might be kernels grown with atrazine, an herbicide or weed killer now banned in Europe but widely used in the US. Those might be mixed with kernels grown into another herbicide, metalocker. In the industrial food chain, it doesn't really matter. It's all number 2 corn. Where do those 90,000 kernels wind up? Since all number 2 corn is treated as though it's exactly the same, we don't have to follow Naylor's kernels. We just have to follow the main branches of the river of corn as it flows and divides through the industrial food chain. As you see, most of those kernels wind up being fed to animals. Much of that goes to feeding America's 100 million beef cattle. And the place they are fed is the American factory farm. The factory farms take the raw material, corn, and turn it into another product, meat. If you count all the chickens, pigs, and fish, there are hundreds of millions of food animals raised on factory farms every family farm. Now they are gathered together in great eating camps where they consume the mounting pile of surplus corn. One of the strangest parts of the industrial food chain is the way it forces some animals to eat corn. And the saddest example of this might be what it means for cows. The cow is by nature not a corn eater. Getting cows to eat a corn diet takes a heroic effort on the part of the factory farm. But the river of surplus corn is waiting, and so the cows must be forced to consume it and turn it into beef you and I can buy. Enter the corn-fed American steer.
Okay. Now,
A good chunk of your time is actually spent writing emails.
based on this page here, what was the gist of what we just heard? What's the gist? Everybody sit up. Come on, sit up. What's the gist of what we just listened to?
How the industrial,
Say it again.
how the industrial like companies like run like the corn business, like run like selling it and all that.
That's what happened in there, but what was the whole point of this whole section?
Corn.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to add? How it's made, how the industrial industry made it, how they are having the animals eat the corn. Why is that important to what the author is doing? His purpose. What is the author's purpose, first of all, for writing this whole book? What do you infer the purpose is? Guys, stop. Can you stop moving to death? Stop.
He keep pushing my, he keep literally keep pushing my desk with his legs up there like that.
Nigga, you keep screaming.
Stop.
Cause I
Stop
feel
with
like
the
I'm
N-word.
losing.
Get out.
Stop talking.
Say it. What's the author's purpose in writing the book?
They force cows to eat corn.
Why? What's his purpose? Why did he start
Cause.
writing this book anyway? Why did he become a food detective in the first place?
Because he was scared from what he eat about it.
Okay, so curiosity of what we're eating, because he came to the realization that everything had what in it? Corn. He wanted to figure out what else had corn in it and why. So he's tracing it all the way back. So what was the importance of this to his reasoning, his purpose, or his actual claim that everything we eat has corn in it? What was the importance of this part to his claim? Why you infer what he just said was important to what he's claiming?
Let's read that.
Hold on, go ahead.
Maybe because, they call me, we know, well, what the big thing was.
So his purpose is saying, as Duval was saying, they are feeding the animals this, which is how it's getting in your system. So he's supporting his claim by saying, this is how it's getting in here. This is why I'm actually saying, yes, this is how we're getting it. So my claim is this, and I'm going to the little 8-year-old in me. Okay, so if everything we eat has corn in it, is corn a vegetable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Corn is a vegetable. So, you know what, Mom? I think for dinner, I don't really want tacos. I think I should be able to have some soda and a Snickers for dinner.
No, that's crazy.
No, it's not. I'm getting my protein because the peanuts have protein in it, right?
Yes.
Corn and
And there's corn in the Snickers. I'm getting my vegetables. The caramel in there has some kind of a milk product in there. I'm getting my milk. So I got 3 of my food groups right there. How come I can't eat this?
How about the pop?
What about the soda?
You got the soda.
What about the what?
Corn in it.
The soda's got corn in it also.
They got silver.
It does have acid, but I'm talking about my 8-year-old self, and you want me to eat all the food groups. Well, I got vegetable, I got dairy, and I got the meat and protein, the protein with the peanuts.
It's
So
an
I'm
herb.
good.
Yeah.
Technically. So is my claim gonna stand up?
No,
Why?
it's trash. It's a bad
And
one.
the sodium in the sugar.
I mean, you're right, but you're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Because it's processed.
Okay, so what? All I know is I'm 8 years old and I'm
And
getting,
I'm not gonna
and
argue
I'm
with
getting
8-year-olds.
milk.
You're gonna eat it.
I'm getting milk and I'm getting my vegetables.
I'm arguing with 8-year-olds. No, you
It's,
know down the stairs.
it's actually kind of fun. But
That's
I'm getting
pathetic.
my vegetables in. It don't matter how I get it, I'm getting it. And I don't like to drink milk, it makes my stomach hurt. So I'm still getting in dairy because I'm eating this caramel that's in here.
No, because there's too much other stuff too.
Right.
But I got my vegetables.
Okay, but don't nobody care because we don't have some.
But it's good and I got my vegetables. So don't nobody care about what you take.
Well, don't care.
Right, we told you to eat your vegetables.
Say it again.
I never made a mean 8-year-old like her.
How is it not? Because there's 2 points here. Yes, it's true, but it's not true because what is that we're getting out of corn that they're putting in the juice and the pop and the candy?
Well,
Pathetic.
What is that called?
High fructose.
Fructose corn syrup. It's sugar. So they're extracting something that's not so good out of something that might be good for you. They're extracting that out and giving it to you in another form or processing it. So it's not true because I'm not getting any real sugar. Have you ever heard people say you eating all that starch? It ain't gonna do nothing but turn to sugar in your system.
Yes.
When your body breaks it down, it turns into sugar.
Well-
Breads,
Corn starch?
cereals.
Yeah.
Corn starch is sugar. It's just nothing but sugar. So anytime you see a label that has corn syrup, high fructose, you're not doing nothing but eating sugar.
I eat corn starch.
Well, that cornstarch is different, that powder form. But yes, after your body breaks it down, it's breaking it down, and all your body is getting out of it is that sugar. Hence, why why people say raw vegetables are the best or steamed. Because if you're steamed, you're not losing all the essential nutrients out of it. Some of it is still in there.
Right, eat something up with chicken.
And it evaporates it, it moves it out. So you're not getting the nutrients that you really need in there because it's changing the molecular structure of it. So you're not really getting, it tastes good, but you're not really getting the best part. And people say, most people peel apples, or when you eat a potato, they take the skin off or whatever. A lot of your nutrients are in the skin of those fruits and vegetables.
What about the skin of chicken? Oh, loader.
Depends on how you're making it. Because some people will bake it or boil it and then fry it.
You boil
Or some
chicken?
people- you can boil your chicken. Sometimes people boil chicken because once you heat that meat up, it's done better than when you just bake it. Because sometimes when you bake it, you're like, oh, I can't tell if that's all the way done. I ain't trying to get sick.
Yeah.
So some people will boil it first and then they'll bake it, right? But when you fry it, it's absorbing whatever you're frying it in. All that fat and grease is absorbing all of that, right? So, but if you notice, it tastes better too if it's grilled. Like outside barbecue, when you're grilling it, smoking, all those things that are in it. So sometimes it becomes how you process and how you cook it. But the problem is what he's doing is researching what happens to this food before it gets to the grocery store. There's a lot.
I saw.
If you look at some things, it's like, you know what, I ain't gonna eat no more.
I didn't want to eat.
I'm good. You see how certain things are processed, or you know exactly where it comes from. You're like, you know what, I am so good. I'm vegan, I'm this, I'm vegetarian, I'm good. So then in the 70s, 80s, it became a whole big old thing because when people crop dust to try to get rid of bugs and whatever, all that pesticide, that becomes another issue. You're getting this food that has this poison pesticide on it. Then it becomes another issue because during slavery time, go back to those social studies.
Oh God.
During the slavery time, the plantation owners, the whites, usually the stuff they didn't want when they were cooking, because they got their little bougie on. So they like, we don't want that part of the pig, the intestine part, and we don't want this part, we don't need the tongue, we don't need the hooves, we don't need the tails, we don't need the tongue, we don't need the ears. They said the slaves, they was like, here, you take that. This is stuff they didn't want. So the slaves would take some of these pieces and those greens that the slave owners didn't want, put the greens in a pot, take some pig feet and throw it in a pot and boil it. They got seasoned food. It tastes really good, right? They took the intestines.
They just cook their own food, right? Why didn't they grow and just cook like
Food.
those?
They did cook, but some of them did, because some of the plantation owners, it wasn't just, cotton. There was some corn, there was some food, and the slaves tilled those things, but when it was cooked, they didn't want some of the pieces that were left. And so the slaves used those pieces to create their own meal. You're going to give it to us, we're going to create this meal, right? So, hence came chitlins.
Ew.
Never had that, but I'm not good with
They smell so terrible, it makes you not even want to. And then when you know what they are, it really makes you not want them. Do everybody know what chitlins
Yes.
are? Pig intestines. So if you think about the intestines, all of your waste flows through there. Your bowel movement, right? So you have to clean them very well. Have anybody ever smelled chitlins?
Yes. My
That
dad
smell
loved
make you
those.
just be
Those
like, you know what, I'm so good, I don't even want to eat no more. Can I get a bag of chips? So it goes through hence you have to open them and you have to actually really clean it. You have to actually clean it extremely well. It does, which is why you have to clean it. And then they boil it and they season, they do all of those things and hot sauce. I'm like, no, I'm straight. My grandma used to be like, come on, help me clean these. I'm so good. I'd rather go, can I go over here and snap the peas, the beans? No. Yeah, but see, I don't eat and then I don't eat pork either. Because a pig can get bitten by a poisonous snake and not die.
They don't even say.
So how many poisons and toxins are in this pig to where?
Thanks,
it can
and I don't
absorb
want
all
to
that?
talk
Not
to
die. Look, now you about to
They do
talk to
eat,
you.
they do.
I mean,
Right.
I ain't trying to be funny, but
No.
I'm not trying to be funny, but you know, when you really think about some of these animals, like take that hood off. Like my teacher was like, "Hey, lay a piece of pork out in the sun on a hot day and see what happens."
No, I did that.
Did you
No,
do it? Did
yes.
the worms come out?
Yeah, no, don't do that, please.
No, because I've never done it. Did they come out?
And a lot more than just that.
Yeah, that's real nasty, right? So when they told me that, I said, "Oh, I'm so glad I don't eat pork. I'm so glad."
Eventually there was a snake. See, that brought up the problem.
Where'd that come out from? Who knows? He must have came to eat. I don't know. Okay. I heard when you put that out in the sun,
Yeah.
a hot day, the worms and things come out of it. That's just like nasty. Like, okay, where do these worms come from? And how
See,
long
now
are
I'm
they
gonna start
there?
eating pork. Damn.
That came out of my refrigerator too, so if I would have ate
Huh?
that. Yeah, isn't it?
Well,
Pork.
You still say
here's
what?
the thing. Here's the thing.
It's pork.
Do you all notice that when you cook meat, do you notice that your meat has to be a certain temperature? Did you guys know that? When you cook it, you ever read a recipe and it says heat up to whatever degrees for your meat. And you stick that, it's like a probe, it's a metal, and you can stick it in there to tell you the temperature. Your meat does have to be a certain temperature in order to kill certain things in it.
So you're just gonna eat that?
Because if you think about it, okay, so think about this. How we are now, when we get our food, we don't know. You know, you got the butcher that cuts things up and they do whatever and they freeze pack and they give it to you. It's different than the old times where you knew, okay, you know what, Henrietta chicken, we sorry, but we gotta eat. And you grab the chicken, you wring its neck, kill it, pluck it, wash it, cut it up, and you know where it came from, your farm. So you kind of know. If I fed it grains, I know what it's been eating, right? How many of you know birds are nasty? I don't know what. Birds are real nasty.
They do a lot of things, right?
Birds eat anything.
Anything that can.
Pigs eat anything?
Poop, all of that.
A pig eat
So-
anything?
Would I want a bird that I raised and I gave it grain and corn versus something in the wild and I have no clue what it was eating? It could be a scavenger and eat something dead. Which one you rather take home and be like, okay, I want the farm fed one or I want this one in the
I'm
wild?
gonna take the grass.
And here's the other issue, and I'm gonna say this one and then we're gonna move on, because I didn't know this one. Well, you know, certain fish are called scavengers, they're bottom feeders. That means whatever falls to the ground, they eat that. Dead flesh left over that something didn't eat, and those bottom feeders eat that. Hence, a lot of catfish are called bottom feeders. Catfish eat those. Catfish eat those. They might be good, but they feed off the bottom of whatever's there.
Catfish sound disgusting.
Now, tilapia. Here's the thing.
Oh, here we go.
I'm asking this because you guys are gonna research this. Is tilapia a real fish or a man-made fish?
It's
Man-made.
That's another option. I know it's man-made.
Say it again.
fake.
It's a man-made breed.
It is?
If you look at sometimes tilapia, do they have the eyes? No.
I've never seen.
I'm just saying, this is stuff that I found out. My husband's like, we're going to the grocery store. And he wants it because
You eat my.
I don't like to cook. I will, but since my husband likes it, dude, you got it. I'll clean. I'll clean the kitchen, do dishes, all that. You good. Go ahead and cook. So we going to the grocery store and he's like, grabbing stuff. I'm like, whoa, what's that? He's like, we're going to eat some taco. I said, we sure are not. He was like, Lord. I'm like, Fernando. He was like, come on now. So we in the fish section having this whole conversation. He was like, I'm about to fry some tilapia. We're going to eat that tonight. I said, well, you need to give me something else because I'm not eating that. He was like, I was like, it's not even real. He was like, I said, I'm going to need you to do some research. It's not real. He said, okay, we can get some catfish. I said, I don't want the bottom feeder. He's like, what seafood can we have? You want some salmon? I said, I don't know how is it raised.
No, salmon are,
They are, depending on how they're raised. Because some people have those fish farms that they raise.
if they're not.
He was like, okay, we're going to get some shrimp too. What's wrong with shrimp?
Like roaches.
No, here we go.
They just tell people like
They related to what?
roaches.
Some fish do.
Roaches.
Yeah, they are.
So this is all things that I want you guys to put research. So we have a parking lot over here. Y'all can put some parking lot here. Hold on. So we went to New Orleans. Miss McNeil said y'all going to New Orleans. Go to these classes. I'm like, cool. I'm about to eat. I want some beignets. I'm about to eat. Yes. I got a picture. Y'all probably would laugh because I was like, because I was there.
You said New Orleans?
Yeah. I was there. I'm gonna show y'all when we come back from lunch, but I was there to eat. Yes,
What?
Jesus.
What?
Yes, Jesus.
What?
Crawfish.
You gotta do something.
Jesus. So, first of all, that means I had to pick it up and I was like, he was like, okay, take that. I was like, he was like, come on. And so he got and he was like, here, I'll open it for you. And I was like,
Oh,
I was like, they were already cooked. They just take it and they screw it after they cook it. It's almost like
I
a
can
fish
see
crust.
everything. Wait.
I was like, hold on. So I walk up to the counter. I was like, hey, y'all got some French fries? Can I get an order of French fries, please? What else y'all got? What kind of sandwich? What's on it? I'm gonna take the rest of the stuff. Just give me a regular hamburger. I'll put a little cheese on there and some mustard. I'm gonna be good. So I go back and sit down. He was like a real Lord. I'm like, I'm not. First of all, I didn't want to touch it. So I'm holding it like this in my face. I'm like, and he's snapping pictures because he really thinks it's funny. I'm like, this is so.
Did you try it?
Just like roaches.
I tried it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it because I couldn't get past what it looked like. That's just like if you smell something, you're like, I'm straight. Just try it. I'm good.
Have you ever tried to catch one?
Catch what?
Crawfish, like digging your hand inside the mud. Yeah.
No, I had to in like the water.
I didn't even want to taste the sucker.
Yeah, like you put your hand in there, you got like
No.
it's just something.
Miss Lively, have you ever tasted alligator?
Yes.
Is it good?
I didn't know what it was. We were in New Orleans.
Here we go again.
No, my husband, no. I said, if you want me to try something, don't tell me what it is. So, no, because he's not here. So I'm eating it, and I'm like, why can I bowl gum? I feel like I need to blow a bubble. He was like, well, that's alligator.
What is buttery?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
And calamari.
no.
Ain't that just fish sauce?
Calamari is.
Bro, I'm not that.
Yeah.
What is calamari?
So we went to New Orleans, and mind you, me and my husband went. Mr. Pierce and his wife went, and let me tell y'all something about Mr. Pierce.
I don't like it.
Well, he ate everything.
Mr. Pierce will do whatever he is there to do.
Oh God.
So me being me, I said, "Hey Pierce, I double dog dare you."
Oh.
He's like, "What you dare me to do, Ivy?" I was like, "Pierce, I dare you." She's like, so his wife probably like, "Lori, don't you dare." I said, "I dare you to pop them eyeballs out on that crayfish and eat them." So what does Pierce do? It's hard to get off. Have you ever seen a fish? You cut the head off and
Yeah.
just try to pop the eye out. The eyeballs do not. They don't pop out. But he got the crayfish. He's like lively. I was like, you for real? He said, I said, you's nasty.
And he still got a life after that.
And he was so tickled. He was so tickled. Mind you, Pierce done been everywhere in the world. He done been to Africa. He done been everywhere in his life. I said, Cardi. She said, you know he don't do it. You know he eats everything. There's only one thing that I know that Mr. Pierce won't touch.
What?
He won't touch
Broccoli.
it. Because he said their neck. He won't touch it. I don't care. That's one dairy that he won't do. What? Black olives. What?
I'm with him. I hate them.
I told him, I said,
They are so disgusting.
I said, they better than them green ones.
I don't like olives anyway. No.
Them black olives is good.
No, I will never touch a black olive a day. No, that is so disgusting.
So that's one thing in the world and all the trips that me and my husband have taken with Chris and his wife, that he will not
Of
touch.
everything he ate, he ain't gonna try.
He will not eat out.
Have you ever tried to pay him to do it?
He will not do it.
I'm about to go.
No, he said he doesn't.
Right.
And I call him Mikey. He eats everything.
What did you like? Like, what did you never touch?
Huh?
Everything.
She's very
One
good.
thing is a lot that I will never touch.
Would you ever eat octopus?
What's the most? Like,
I'm not touch. I won't eat pork. I don't eat chicken. I don't even want to.
I'm with you. They smell.
Only time I won't touch is like
Only time you touching chili?
So,
You eat tarantula?
in New Orleans, which is like Memphis for food, like they got some of the best tasting food.
New Orleans.
Man.
I'm thinking,
Oh, yeah.
New Orleans, that's what Texas does too.
You been to Texas?
Yes. So,
I'm going back to Florida.
if you just think in your head, some of the things that you're thinking, look at it. Like, I never knew tilapia was a man-made fish. I'm like, and I saw a picture about it. It ain't got no eyeballs. It just literally just, I was like, that is so bad. I just found out. TILAPIA.
I'm literally looking up right now.
Everything. Nasty as stuff.
That's the only fish I really eat.
And then, look at what you eat. What is it related to?
I don't know.
Because,
To Anthony.
Okay, here's my last question. And then I'm
It's related to you. It's good.
No, please don't.
Wait, hold on. It don't have nothing to do with these. I hope not. I hope y'all wouldn't eat these. But okay, hold on. Doves. They let doves off at funerals and they let them off at weddings, right?
What is
You're
doves?
like, oh, they're so pretty. Oh, the doves. Now, then you have robins or blue jays. Well, they cute, right? That's a cute little bluebird. Oh, that's so weird. Now, then you get to, you got cute little bird, parakeet. Then you say pigeon. What do y'all think about pigeon?
Pigeon looks stupid.
Pigeons are fake.
Sorry.
So, everybody on your laptop right now,
I never saw a big.
look up dove.
They gonna show some. There's gonna be some soap.
Just look up a dove.
No, it literally just showed me soap. Like,
What is, no, not the dove. So, ask,
I'm gonna look up a bird.
what bird are doves related to? Even better. What bird are doves related to? A dove is a pigeon.
Pigeons are fake.
A dove is a pigeon.
Why they trying to make me laugh?
A dove is a pigeon. How many of you knew a dove was a pigeon?
I didn't know. Oh, the pigeon I see is called a rock dove.
Now, there are different types, but a dove is a pigeon.
I want a
In
dog.
my head, when I found that out, I was like, so is a dove an albino pigeon? No. Is a dove an albino pigeon?
No.
So, that took the beauty out of, a dove. I'm like, that's just a
No,
ghetto
pigeon.
pigeon. It reminds you of like an albino pigeon. Yes, a dove is nothing but a pigeon.
No, but it's so.
No, I think the pigeon's like a
It
ghetto version.
is.
Never mind. Look at them.
Right.
Are the eyes red?
Yeah.
So what do you know about albinism?
Oh,
So that's what my question was, is a dove an albino pigeon?
But this pigeon has
I think it might be movie.
Yeah, some of them do. Some of them do.
Some of them have white.
Because even in New Orleans, that's where I saw an albino alligator, and it was huge.
Yeah, you know, like that one Beyonce song. What she said?
Alligators can be albino.
Okay, everybody, let's come back to food. Yeah, right.
Let's not go back to that.
No, we're gonna go back to it because we're gonna finish this part. Let
Dang.
me see real quick if I can find.
Yeah, you guys actually mushroom. You know mushrooms eat dead things, right? So you're
They
kind
are,
of
they are.
they're decomposed. So I can
They are.
DJ turn it
They
on.
are decomposed. Some of y'all might.
I tried one. We was at this spot and it was like, she dared me to try. So I'm like, all right,
Like that puts you in the frame of mind.
$5. Easy.
Not
Dude,
being stereotypical.
I watched the TikTok
but at the
video. I
same
cracked.
time being stereotypical.
I seen some
Think of,
some brown
there
stuff
are all
dripping.
these jokes about how Asians, is that dog or that cat?
Dog.
It might be a rat.
Both.
It might be a rat.
Right. Everything.
Rat
I'm
meat
just
tastes
saying.
good.
In some countries, a rat is a delicacy. Just saying.
Dog, cat, and
I'm just saying.
it's a roach.
Miss Lively, I got a question. Would you rather have a lion or an alligator?
I'll go out there and eat a blade of grass. I'm just saying.
No, like as a pet. As a pet. I mean, I will too, but no, I wouldn't. This is the thing. Lions are fast, and they get twice the size as you.
Now, I've heard something about the dog.
They gonna pet and they love
Okay,
you.
so here we go.
Yeah,
guys.
cause it's like I want like a baby lion and raise it, just like
What my husband was making me.
I'm a walk
None
out
of
with
y'all
Jesus.
remember Miss Leonard, do y'all?
Who's Miss Leonard?
Y'all remember Miss Leonard? She used to be across the house. She was this special ed, real light skin.
No.
Oh, I went with her too. Okay, so here is my husband made. Him and here, baby too.
Is that picture?
Yes, Jesus. It's like the nastiest thing ever.
Is that a plate of crawfish?
The nastiest. The nastiest thing ever. Like, I'm like, you want me to what?
They
And
closer
I
to
was trying to pick it up, and I'm like, this is
they closer to roaches
That's
than
like-
fishes.
nastiness.
Oh my.
And look how big the plate is. They're like, here, try it. I'm like, "Brr."
They live in a mud too.
And nasty. Nasty, ain't it?
They do look like roaches.
It's just they trifling.
They're little.
Well-
They look like lobster rolls.
They're nasty.
You look like you was scared.
I was.
Ah!
I was scared.
And she looked like you about to
I
jump.
was scared. Like, you want me to? Okay, so this is Miss Leonard, and this is Miss Pierce's wife. She's like, yeah, try this. She eats them too, like,
Hey.
Miss Leonard was like, no. Miss Leonard was like, no, and no. Miss Pierce's wife was like, yeah, come on, let me show you how to open it up and eat it. We like, you nasty.
Like, no wonder they stay together.
Wow.
But she not eating eyeballs. She's not eating eyeballs.
Right. You need to move off the eyeball.
She's not eating eyeballs. She's not doing that. But I'm like,
Patrick.
Now I'm like, here you gonna eat that eyeball, but you don't want this black olive.
I'm with him because I would never try olive a day in my life. It's nasty. I'm never trying olives.
No, I ate all of it too.
They smell weird, and
Octopus is not bad.
I tasted one before. It was just like a whole bunch of salt, sweet salt.
Okay, everybody go to this page that's on your screen. Jamar, I need you to log into your Learn Brilliant, please. Log in.
Right now.
Ramon, you're not in.
Our easy swamp.
Ramon, let's go. Get into your stuff, or you're not getting credit for today's class.
Our brother's floating in the air.
No, don't worry about that part.
Our brother's
What's your
floating.
favorite cereal? I like Captain Crunch and I like Lucky Charms. Think about those and think about the shape, taste, and color. Now, I do like the marshmallows and Lucky Charms is like something. Captain Crunch, I love them, but I hate them at the same time because my mouth is cold.
They be killing you.
So thinking about that, type in some things. If something is colorful and looks nice, you're more apt to want to try it, right? Have you ever seen a meal, like my sister's growing up, she was good at this. Some of her stuff, I'm like, who likes that? It looked crazy, but it was the best thing ever. Like I tasted it, I was like, hey, that's pretty good. So, and then put it here, what do you think about diabetes and obesity? What do you think about that? What is a contributing factor to the diabetes and obesity? What's a contributing factor, do you think? What's a what? Contributing factor to diabetes and obesity? What that mean? Like,
I'm slow in the head.
What did he say?
what is obesity? Obesity is being big.
Weight Watchers.
Obesity means to be extremely big, you know, like my 600-pound life. I be watching that. I watch that sometimes. I'm like, how did that happen? No, because I really wonder, how did that happen? But think about it.
All I watch is him.
Think about everything that we eat.
You're the only person I watch on.
Everything that we eat is very high
You're the only
in sugar.
person I watch on YouTube.
How many of you say, okay, I'm gonna eat this pan of peaches or pears? I'm gonna eat that little healthy.
Ew, man? No, that's a lot of syrup.
Peaches are good.
Of syrup.
On that juice I did.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then,
syrup.
so then people are like, oh,
Ah.
I went to the store, I got some grapes. I ate almost a bag of grapes.
That's cool.
Do you know how much?
Please don't worry, bro.
Regular fruit, how much sugar is in there? Even just regular fruit, there's a lot. There's a lot. Next time you go to the grocery store with your parents or whatever, look at some labels. And usually the very first word is what it has in there the most. So, just looking at this pop my husband bought.
Corn syrup.
So,
You brought that just for this.
carbonated water. The second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup.
Unholy.
And then it says, within less than 2% of caramel color,
That's corn.
artificial flavor. You got all these other things. And all the way at the bottom,
I did not, but fuck around your bitch gonna butt. Who the fuck is this?
I'm doing study about Emmett too.
that one it did not have. Bentonite. But in all of these, and then it has this artificial stuff and preservatives. That's syrup as well, sugar as well.
Because when corn might look like, does it have like the ingredients and stuff?
That probably,
Right, you can't even tell anymore. There could be
you
corn in
can't,
the
so
bowl.
that might be a question.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Emmett too.
What?
Let's do it. Second on Emmett too.
Not right now.
You know who that is?
It's not this guy?
My brother is calling. What time is it?
We do it.
Say it again.
LCD.
So, pretty much what I just
You walked
said
up to the
about
club
diabetes
yesterday?
and obesity in America,
You
what
need to
we
do
eat
it today.
contributes to that greatly. Because everything
I'm not letting you
has
go
some
across the
type
street.
of sugar in it, which can contribute to that. So if some of you don't know what diabetes is, you can look that up as well.
Diabetes.
So give you a couple seconds before I move the screen.
No.
Hold on.
I'll give you a couple seconds before I move it. Yes, what are you interested in learning more about? Like for me, man-made food. Because some of y'all that didn't know tilapia was man-made, or even that certain.
Right, that's saying, cuz.
That's why it's against certain religions to eat certain things. Yes,
It's spam, mayonnaise.
I don't know, what is it?
It's like, this is like a block of meat. It's like a block of meat.
Spam is like a meat, but the things in it. So for instance, okay, this is my last one. Hot dog.
No.
Oh,
No,
my
God.
Don't ruin the glizzies for Anthony. And tell us, don't ruin the glizzies for you.
I'm letting my parents know how I started out at this point.
Just put in, you can type in either how hot dogs are made.
I seen it on YouTube. It is very weird and nasty and disgusting.
It's the kind of what they in here talking about chitlins and tilapia.
You!
Oh, that must be what, New Year's meal?
No! That is the most disgusting thing ever. Who cooks
I
that?
know people do.
So we talked about what was in chitlins
Oh, they didn't know.
and tilapia. I had one person that did know that tilapia was man-made.
I am very
It
scared.
had no eyeballs. Like this.
Okay.
You get it.
And crawfish is disgusting.
And how corn, what contributes to obesity and diabetes in our society.
Eating macaroni, macaroni, macaroni.
We ain't even get to all of that.
Macaroni.
I asked myself, what's my hood the other day? Take that hood off. Herman, take your hood off. So we were talking, we got sidetracked on what it is.
Just take it off, Sonny. Just take it off.
And then we talked about a dove, they would use doves.
What you say?
What is that? Pigeon, a freaking pigeon. Pigeons are so ugly. They fat. What? That is it.
There, I buy no pigeons. I don't know. Fuck you, you gay bitch. No, nigga, you gay. Take me and Anthony. Me and Anthony. I seen a video how hot dogs are made. Alright, how did we start talking about this? No, Miss Live, answer the question.
Okay,
Mr. Conwell,
I'm gonna move to.
take me. Take me, please. Take me. Huh? Take me and Anthony. I think that's kind of racist. I'm not even gonna lie. Take me and Sonny. Please no, not this.
This is what I want you to do.
Come on.
I want you, and I don't care if you do it in your Sora or look at the hard copy. I want you to read the next section.
What page is that?
Told us to read it. Which is chapter 5.
Eat macaroni, macaroni, macaroni. Eat macaroni, macaroni. Hey, macaroni.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. If you did what you were supposed to do and read what you were supposed to do, we should be up to chapter 6. Now, if you did that and you have extra time for the next 25 minutes, you can do the packets that I asked you to turn in. Can I go get them out? Yep. Can I go too?
I brought her already in that cup.
Hey, bruh. Hey, like, why do all your photos that you have look like that? Bruh, ever since I known you, all your photos, it never fails. Who? Why? I don't care, child. I sprained my foot, Miss Lively.
Jamar, you got work you should be doing right now.
It's just reading books.
But I don't think you get the first 6 chapters because it's supposed to be in the first 6 chapters.
Oh. Well, that's just corny. That's just corny.
Miss Lively, I blame it on you.
I'm at 1,000 a minute.
Jamar, you got work to do. Let's go. Let's go. Are your packets done, Jamar? You might want to do them. Let's go.
Gotta get busy.
Herman, let's go. Sit up in the seat correctly, please. Let's go. Excuse me?
I'm stretching. Go. Oh, God, bro.
one I gotta do.
First six chapters need to be done.
Always.
First,
Yeah, we read up to the first six chapters, so.
That's how I always
You do plus those packets.
It's like 13.
I know, it's a lot. Hence why y'all should stay up on your work, not let it get away from you.
then,
When do we read the?
No,
When
no.
do we read the first, second, third?
Who did? Like,
I'll tell
We
you.
read the first, second, third, fourth.
When?
And then I assigned y'all,
No,
to six.
about him.
you saw Jordan
I
Grant
assigned y'all
19?
three to six, so. You look in your school,
Did
you
you read the
can
introduction too on, the introduction? Pre-K. I read that first. 'Cause that's been pretty good.
How I got 9? I just had 6 last night.
I don't know, you must have found some in your locker.
It's like, it's not that in there on purpose. You know,
I don't have a foundation, I don't have a whole lot of stuff.
see, that's why.
This ain't even.
I mean, I can get them.
I got this one and
Y'all, that's why y'all feel like it.
you got 2 of these. That's one. I have to see if I'm gonna outside.
Dang, so you always tell me.
Why I have a seat? Where's your stuff at?
Ain't none on there. I didn't realize this yet.
I stayed up till like 3 or 2 last night.
You have something to turn in? You have something that you are willing to turn in that's done?
I do.
Purple basket.
Yeah.
That's what we did. And that group
And
chat.
that group chat.
And you want to leave.
Oh, yo, all of it done?
That's like.
All of it done?
Watch it out.
Because
See, look.
it's like, all my photos keep like getting messed up. I don't know how.
Say for.
All your what?
All my photos getting messed up.
We're not helping each other. I knew. That ain't what we get ready to do. Look at that stuff.
She said perfect.
We're not helping each other, because y'all should have done that a long time ago on your own. Lucy, sit down.
Right, we got a whole group chat.
Okay, put that up.
Right.
Thanks for letting me know, so now I'm gonna compare answers.
What you talking about?
It's bad.
I did my own group chat.
I ain't in that group.
I'm not in the
group.
I'm not in the group chat.
It's just the girls in the group chat.
Yeah.
It don't matter, I'll still be looking.
Here,
Like the one?
Here, what's your name? Yeah, you.
Ooh, can I get a photo?
You. That's so.
That Tara is gonna be a problem.
Oh, that's your company?
It's like, I don't know.
You don't know.
Right, that's my photo. Ooh.
Skizzles, all that. Move, get the work. Chop. Move. I need some lotion or something.
Boy, go sit down. You done slept most of the day.
For my neck.
Yeah.
First it's your neck, then it's your head. Boy, sit down.
Tyler, can you pass me a thing of lotion?
Come on, y'all, have a seat. Let's go. I sure hate to sign y'all. Y'all know this is tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not having done by the day.
Yeah, the packet. The packet to do tomorrow.
I was just about to read this, but I'm just like, I'll be reading, but.
Guys, come on, let's go. Let's go. Lucy, get out her head. Okay. Let's go.
Right.
I think I should, y'all seem like y'all done, like I know.
Oh,
But like,
It's not shut down. I'll shut down. Oh.
Whoa.
Why is this?
It's about to get some more work.
Look, trying to make it like that.
So I'm supposed to be doing all the work. Everybody's like,
No, that means.
You took it like that.
I did it. She did.
Ooh, my love.
Ooh.
Okay. So,
Wait, no. We was just about to get started.
well, where these questions come from?
What?
It's like, where did? Oh, I just. Right here. I didn't, I meant to stop the line. Can you sit down? Sit down and get to work.
We want AMP.
Oh my God. Bro, my throat is dry.
No, so the girl in here, she says she looks at
Oh, I can't.
as boys as girls. So I'm guessing she's lesbian.
Why would it be God?
The girl in here, I guess she doesn't like boys, does that mean she's a lesbian?
Can you sit down, please?
You
Sit
still
down,
think that, so.
Sit down.
Sit down. Why not?
Hey,
Oh,
no, that's not funny.
can I go to the bathroom?
You guys know what they meant by sweetie, right?
Can I go to the back?
It's the word begins with the C. So. It's not perfect.
I'm about to get mad, bro.
Right.
I ain't the best rapper.
Can I go to the bathroom?
That's why you.
No, I already took it, no,
Oh, no, you did.
I sure did.
So say what
Or Mr. Dubois did.
Where?
Look at Matt.
I'm about to get mad.
So she did.
Right.
I need your opinion on this. So the girl up here says that this girl named Susan. Susan didn't want a boyfriend. Everyone who had boyfriends or girlfriends always seemed to have girlfriends.
Because
Susan told people she had a boyfriend far away on a farm in Missouri. But the truth was, boys still seemed like husbands or brothers or even girls. So does she not sound like an emo lesbian or what? I'm confused. If you don't like boys, what do you like?
hold on. She might like animals.
She goes,
Oh,
what?
Shut
up.
I like animals.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Why the class is empty?
Because you keep talking.
Shut up. Nobody asked you.
Close your mouth. Yeah.
No.
Oh, everybody ran out the car.
Nobody needs to go to church every Sunday.
I gave up. Ooh.
Yeah.
I ain't that gave up.
It's implied. Yes.
Water on my body sheet.
I got to stop fucking laughing. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I ain't even doing nothing.
Being call me a baby.
Hey, yo.
I was like, it don't look right. No, no.
Was that your cousin?
Why every time I look at you, y'all looking at me?
Come on, we want to look
Right.
at
Right, I was looking out the door.
you. Want to be sick? You want me to look at you?
Look at me, everybody, right now. Look at me.
Why do you keep cursing like that?
Yeah, like
Aren't
she's
you like
pressed.
12?
Yeah, hey, my nigga, DJ, I forgot DJ is older than her.
Right.
I forgot DJ
No, I'm
is older.
just asking.
Hey, DJ is older than her.
Like everybody in here.
Oh, right.
Who made more money than me though? Not me.
Ooh. How much money you got in your pocket
She
right
said,
now?
I got you in 1 year.
How much you got in her pocket right now?
I don't pay money.
Yeah, how much money you got in your pocket?
Right.
You wanna see?
Yeah, I
I
only
got mine in my pocket right now.
You wanna see?
Yeah,
I think got like $30.
Something.
Oh, yeah, show us that $200.
Yeah,
Show us
show
that
them.
money.
Yeah.
Show us that 200.
So it's that $40.
200.
Show us that $600 you got.
off one head.
Oh, you said off of one head.
Whoa.
Wait,
What you did? You said one head. What you did?
What you mean?
You didn't show me. You didn't show me.
Throw that money on me then.
He said make it rain on her, daddy.
The what?
Yo.
Oh, God.
It's lively, my favorite.
It's like you got like a
Good night.
Cause like that had $10 for V-Bucks.
No.
I can have 40 for $3.
I'm gonna play for me.
cash at me.
Oh, you got $10.
I gotta do it after what I'm talking about.
I need 40 for
Oh, what's going on?
Guys, I don't have to give y'all time to get this done. Y'all wasting time.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No,
Do I get extra credit if I
No.
catch kids with their phone out?
no.
Oh, not to get mad, bro.
I don't care.
How many times?
How many times you gotta let you know that she don't be scared of you, dude?
Where we going? Okay.
But, oh wow. So he ain't.
Dang, dude.
I need it.
Hey, what? They said you thought you-
Well, shut up.
They said you thought you ate that.
What?
Okay, you know what? So let's keep working. Since y'all not utilizing this time to do work that y'all need to be doing anyway, y'all have a whole conversation. I don't have to give y'all time to get stuff done. Most of y'all getting that tomorrow as it is.
Well, I got a lot of it done, but I just need to.
If it's all not done, I'm not worried about it.
Are they stomping so aggressive?
You want to try to go? My dick, nigga. Stick on my dick. Okay. So I got him these heavy ones. On his bitch. Okay. I'm going that way. I'm just trying to hit you with these heavy ones, bitch. Boom. Okay. Gotta start off here. 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 Gotta figure out how to do it. Oh my. Bro, what is he doing? Oh, see? This sweaty back there, gorilla. Sweaty back gorilla.